Hey guys, welcome back to the Secure Code Review for Beginners series. In this episode, we'll be diving deep into part traversal vulnerabilities. We'll be seeing a real-world example of how these vulnerabilities arise, how we can find them during a secure code review assessment, and most importantly, how we can fix them. Alright, we are back in our VS Code. Today, we will be looking at part traversal vulnerabilities. We have a simple web application written in Python over here using Flask. Similar to what we had discussed in the last episode, the /download path over here is routed to the download file function, and inside that, the file name variable retrieves the file name parameter from the HTTP GET request, which is then passed to the os.path.join function. However, this line of code over here is vulnerable to part traversal because the file name parameter is used directly to construct the file path. In the next few lines, we are basically checking if the file path exists. If it does, we return the file to the user. If not, we get a 404 file not found error. So now let's try to run this application. We go to localhost /5000. Now in our code, we've set up the /download path, which also takes the file name parameter. So we go to /download and we try to access the file name parameter. Let's try to access the test file. So we get file not found because there is no such file. Now, if I was an attacker, the first thing what I would try to do is try to access the /etc password file. But since we are in a different directory altogether, we would make use of the part traversal vulnerability. For that, we use multiple instances of .. which brings us to the root of the directory, and we access the etc password file. We get a file not found still. We use another instance of .. Nope. Let's try to use another one. Still no. Another one. Yep. And we see that it prompts us to download the password file. And if we try to open this file in Notepad, we've successfully downloaded the etc password file from the web server. As you saw, we accessed the etc password file, which was outside the scope of the current directory, and we were able to download this file. So before going ahead and showing you the fix for this vulnerability, I want to point out that this fix may or may not be a proper fix because there could be other techniques which could be used to bypass this fix. However, for the sake of this video and to keep this video simple, I've kept the fix simple to demonstrate and understand. So for the fix, we've used os.path.basename function. So the base name will basically strip out any directory traversal sequences from the file name which is provided. Next, we've also used the os.path.common prefix function, which ensures that the file is in fact within the scope of the current directory. So let's try to run this code and see if it solves the part traversal vulnerability. And now if we try to use the same payload to access the etc password file, it won't allow us and it will throw us a 404 error. So to summarize everything, we saw how part traversal vulnerabilities work. So during a secure code review assessment, how we would identify a part traversal vulnerability is we would look at instances in the code where user input is being used to specify file paths. So common places to look for these would be upload or download functionality. So for example, downloading log files. You could also look for functions such as os.path.join or maybe open or send_file, etc. In Python, you could also look for modules such as os or flask or maybe shutils. Also, don't forget to dive deep into the application and track the flow from the sources to the sink. Hopefully now you have some idea of how to search for part traversal vulnerabilities in code during a secure code review assessment or maybe during bug bounties if the codebase is available on GitHub and is in scope. This brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video and if you've learned something, please drop a like on the video. It would support a lot. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon because the next video we will be discussing another critical server-side issue. As always, you can find these code snippets on GitHub. You can find me on Twitter at mqst_. All the links are in the description. See you in the next video.